So here we go. Okay, go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce my public management for using metal catalyst to upgrade boil oils. I will expand project from the following four aspects: project background, project objective, specific content, and evaluation of outcomes. Part one is the project background. Nowadays, main energy sources of the world are from fossil fuel, electric power, and coal. As we all know, with the rapid development of social economy, all of the governments in the world and people realize many environmental issues brought by fossil fuels, like emission of carbon dioxide. At the same time, the petroleum shortage is slowly appearing. So boil oils produced by biomass could become considerable alternative resources to alleviate environment and energy crisis. So what's the relationship between GDP and energy consumption? So we could say the higher GDP for a nation, the more energy it takes. So if a developing country like China or India would like to be a developed country, it will increase their amount of energy consumption, which will cause more energy problems. Boil oils are considered as a sustainable energy to replace fossil fuels. Those have been paid much attention to protect environment, cut costs, and improve energy security. Where more and more developing countries increase the demand of liquid fuel. In most applications, boil oils could replace fossil fuel as the fate of many machines like engines, boilers, and electricity generation. And it also could be used to refine industry to produce some useful chemicals. There are main three sources of boil oils: food biomass, agricultural waste, and sewage sludge. Among those raw materials, food biomass is the first generation to create boil oils due to food contract around global and low energy efficiency per unit land of required groups. It is considered as major setback of food biomass. Sewage sludge is the newest generation. So of course we could choose olive tree, coal stover, and group steam and sewage sludge, and forest residues including branches and leaves, which are the most popular sources of the experiment. So what is the main component of boil oils? Lignocellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. Lignocellulose accounts the most of boil oils, about 40 to 50. The proportion of hemicellulose is about 25 to 35. Lignin is the least of boil oils. Boil oils through thermal decomposition to produce three main chemical categories. Firstly is solids such as ash and char. Secondly is gases, which are uncondensable gas, such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen. A variety of liquids such as are composed of water fraction, aqueous fraction, and organic oil fraction. Although boil have many advantages, but it couldn't be used directly because its undesirable properties such as high acidity, high viscosity, instability, low heating value, and high oxygen content. So we need to use catalysts to upgrade it. Nowadays, we always use precious metal catalysts such as platinum, ruthenium, and non-precious metal catalysts such as cobalt and nickel. Precious metal catalysts have a good catalytic property with low temperatures and pressures. The most important is outstanding stability and toxicity proof, but the price is very expensive. So I need to find an appropriate catalyst to upgrade it for industrial production. The part two is project objectives. I chose a junior high school in poor area of China because I think that the chance is meaningful for both of us. For a remote distance between two countries, I chose an app to give online speech to those students. At the same time, this mode could also attract some common audience. But the speech was mainly centered on three questions. What is the sustainable energy? Why boilers are so important? What is the principle of upgrading boilers about catalysts? It is useful to cultivate science interest and lift science for those students. As saying goes, interest is the best teacher. The part three is specific content. The structure of speech are four parts. Introduce themes, demonstrating different sorts of boil using photos, comparing different kinds of catalyst effect, and showing the principles combined with high school chemistry knowledge. Aim to increase interest and relevant. I chose some interesting photos like cost over and forest rescues. I think that could make them realize boils are very close to their common life. I would like to build a long-term relationship between our lab and high school, either online or offline communication. It is my proposal for public engagement activity. I believe this activity could make those students pay more attention on sustainable energy. And on the other hand, I could not complete the second additional content because of coronavirus. The lab is not used at present. So building a long-term relationship is very essential. I will show them if I have spare time. Yeah, the part four is evaluation and outcomes. After giving an online speech, I submit them a questionnaire which includes four multiple choice questions and two essay questions. The first question is, what is your favorite source of boils? We could say, the forest rescues is a forest rescues accounts the maximum ratio, and so and there are few people chose serious large. Maybe I think it. Maybe I think they are not familiar with serious large. Yeah. The second question is, which area do you think the most needed to be replaced by boilers? As expected, the most people think traffic is the main problem of the environment pollution. The second question is, which area do you think the most needed to be improved for a catalyst? People choosing a cheaper price accounts for the maximum ratio. In fact, it also my main challenge. The last question is, which area do you think the most needed to be improved for a catalyst? Maybe the professional knowledge is difficult to understand for them. Yeah. The two essay questions are, what do you think of the sustainable fuel, and do you think the experiment needs to be improved? Which part? I think this style of questionnaire is a very good way to build a two-way communication. I got some useful suggestions about improving my research. For example, the student suggests me that maybe I should add algae in my experiment. It is very useful for me. The leaf links is a ball, and it is me, and the number of viewers is up to 295. I think it is a successful public management activity. Thanks for your presentation. Any questions?
Great work, Wanlong.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant that there was reflections that came from the students that was useful for your research, like using algae. So I didn't. Is that something that other researchers are doing? Do you know?
Yes, it is different source of the boils. I haven't realized it. Yes, I have realized before.
That's fascinating. Does anyone want to come in with a question? Go for it, Lauren.
I was just wondering, were you surprised by the students' answers? So they obviously, you asked them what their favourite biofuel was and which ones need to be replaced. Were you surprised by any of their responses, or was it what you were expecting?
Sorry, pardon?
Sorry, I'll talk slower. I talk fast because I'm from Birmingham. I was asking, were you surprised by any of the students' answers? So in the questionnaires, were you surprised by what they said?
Yes, I think make me surprised is it's the second question. It's the second question because I think I think a cheaper price. It's the main problem. But you know, catalyst the main challenge for a catalyst to successful is their ability, its catalytic ability. I think so many people will aim to pay more attention to a catalyst if it is successful to judge it the catalyst ability. So they chose a cheaper price, but you could say a price is equal to their ability. So we need to improve to find a appropriate way to combine two features. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Go on, John. Oh, you're muted still, John.
No, I haven't listened. Yeah.
No, it's me. I was muted. I'm busy talking away. Thank you, Wanlong. I enjoyed that tremendously because bio-oil is such a controversial topic because of there's so much of land use tied up into it, even in this country with the way that we produce biofuels, you know, surrendering crops to be able to make other oils for other purposes and losing the crops that we would previously have made. Just one question. If you could give this talk to someone specific, who would you really like to have delivered this talk to?
As far as I'm concerned, I would like to talk to the students because you know the students have enough knowledge to understand the professional chemistry knowledge, and the high school students it is very important because they will become college students. They could choose chemistry engineering or catalyst as their subject and major to research it. I think it is very meaningful because I could let him know why the sustainable energy is very important and why should we take more action to improve catalyst to upgrade oils. Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks. But you answered my next question, which was what would you like them to do afterwards? You actually answered that, I think.
So I was just going to ask as well, you talked at the beginning about sort of additional content, and there was a point that you made about linking to the kind of instrumentation and the things that happen in the lab. So I just wanted to ask you a bit more about what your ideas were for doing that, and what you think the students might really respond to or find interesting about what they could see in the lab.
I think they were interested at how to use the instrument, because it is a power of China, and they couldn't see some professional instrument and how to use. And I think it is very useful because many students all have a dream to become scientists. Yeah, I think in China, yeah, we always like to become science. So I think they are interested about that. Yeah.
Just a question about you. I know that one of the stages for further stuff was about building a long-term relationship with the school. What are your plans for going forward and building a more sustainable relationship with them?
Yeah. I think in future I will to do more experiment and use more different sources of oils, and I think and to find some different about the different sources of oils, and I will respond their request of me, and to say some instrument and how to do experiment, and what steps, and how to design experiments. Yeah. Thank you.
So you can become the specialist advisor to them on that. Have you thought about what you might be able to do that would benefit yourself and your career by capturing some of these activities that you've done?
Yes, I think the students have many new ideas, and for me, I could not solve the problem completely, and they could taught me some new ideas for my research, and I could and I could use my instrument more skillful, more you know. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, it's great.
Yeah, it's really nice. And I'm just going to ask you one last question, I think, unless anyone else has got any more. So do you know, is there anything that you could find out or that you know about the people that have watched the video, whether that's students or other people that have seen it? So about whether they were interested in science before, whether they feel more interested, their age, maybe, do you know that they're all the same age or anything like that?
You mean their age?
Just, do you have any information about those 295 views? Do you know who they might be? Or so it would be really interesting to know if they're people who've never thought to do anything to do with science before, or whether they're people who are really, really keen but didn't know about particularly biofuels, whether you can get any information at all, or whether you know any of that.
Okay. So initially, I found my high school student, my high school teacher, to help me to found those students, and because they want to be they want to try and to cultivate science interest and lifestyle science, and because it is England, and we could say some different things from China and from China high schools. Yes.
Okay, good. Great. Well, thank you once again. And as I said in the email, I'll be in touch over the next week or so that, as I said, there's some other assessors as well as us that will watch this video online and give feedback. So if there's some more questions, then I'll let you know about that. And I'll send you the link through for when this is online as well, in case you want to share it with anybody or watch it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks and well done.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Wanlong.
Nice to meet you.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.